So the focus of this video is to give all of you kind of a better understanding on just the layout of the program itself. I know that we've been working on several of the tools so far in the class, but this particular video is just going to kind of be a tutorial on how to navigate the different panels. Like over here you have the tools panel, you see where my mouse is, it's over here. Up here you have kind of your navigation bar, and then over here you have like your actual navigator, your color panel, your layers, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to give a basic layout on how you can find things. Say you lose a tool and you're confused and need to get it back. That's the focus of this tutorial right here, is to help you all navigate the tutorial or the program. So first I'm going to go up to File, which is right up here next to the main name of the program, Corel Painter 2016. So I'm going to go to File, I'm going to go to New, I'm going to click on New, and for the sake of this video, it doesn't really matter the width or the height, or this. Well, let's title it. Let's see, navigating Corel Painter 2016, and we'll just hit that and we'll hit OK. Okay, so here we have first thing first that I always like to do before I start working with any program, either Corel Painter, Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator. I always like to come down here. If you're looking down here, kind of the bottom right of this canvas, this is called a canvas. And there's this corner, you see my arrow key is kind of turned into a diagonal arrow that points in both the left direction and the bottom right. Well, I go down that corner, I click and hold my mouse key, and then I drag it so that I can actually see the outside gray space of the canvas, so I know how big my canvas is, and I know exactly what I'm working with in regards to the artboard. Because all this gray space, if you see this out here, oops, let's go back real quick. All this gray space out here doesn't actually get printed when you actually complete a project and you decide that you're done, you want to come and print it. So just so you all know that this gray space on the outside doesn't actually get printed. And so if you look over here on this left side, this is your tools panel, and this is what you use to create all your projects within this canvas board. So up here you have your brush tool, you have your eyedropper tool, which is the second one from the top. You have your paint bucket tool, which is primarily used to fill in colors. We'll kind of get to that in a little bit. You have your eraser tool right here, which does exactly what it says it's supposed to do, is it erases things out of your project. You have your layer adjuster, which allows you to move pieces around in your project. You have your rectangular selection, and if you look down here on the bottom right of the tool, with all these, each one of these tools that has a little diagonal triangle that points to the bottom right, symbolizes that there's more tools in this particular tool. So if I click here, or click and hold, you can see that there's a rectangle selection tool, and then there's an oval selection tool. And so that's the same, and so if you press and hold that, you'll have to actually select one of the options that are in the flyout menu, which is any kind of menu like this that you click out is called a flyout menu. And so you have to actually select the option in the tool to make the actual selection go away. And so we're going to look over here. This lasso tool allows you to select different kinds of objects, similar like the rectangular selection tool. There's a little arrow at the bottom, you click and hold it. You also have an option called the polygonal lasso tool. And so the difference between these two lasso tools is the regular lasso tool allows you to freely kind of just draw the selection that you want, compared to where the polygonal lasso tool is focused on just using straight lines. So if you have like a mountain in a picture that you're trying to select, it's a lot easier to use the polygonal lasso tool than it were to be to use the actual lasso tool, just because it's easier to get the sharp edges of the mountain. And I can actually, that could be another video later, but the focus of this video, like I said, is just to kind of navigate the whole layout of the program. And so you have the magic wand tool here, selection adjuster. I will click on that to get this to go away, or here. Selection adjuster, the crop tool, which allows you to crop different images into a smaller size. You have the pen tool here. Rectangular tool, the text tool, which allows you to actually type in text into your project. You don't have to really focus on doing any of that right now. Shape selection tool, cloner tool, which some of these aren't really any of the ones that we're going to be using. Mr. Lighty will decide whether if they're important enough for the projects to be used. You have the dodge tool, you have the mirror painting tool, which we had experience when we did our kaleidoscopes. The perspective guides, the grabber, which allows you to move your canvas around. So if you kind of like, say, you get your canvas off here, you can actually click that tool and you can bring your canvas back to the middle. But say you have your brush tool selected and you don't actually know, you don't want to go down all the way to here and just click on it. You can actually press and hold the space bar on your keyboard. And you can see right there that I've brought that this tool here, and I can actually grab it and move it around just by pressing the space bar. That's the shortcut key to this. You have the magnifier, you have the rotate page, and for some who have rotated the page, you know, you've kind of gotten it out here, and you can't remember how to get this back. Mr. Lighty had said a couple classes back that if you double click, you can actually reset the canvas. You don't reset the image or what you're working on in terms of your project, but you can reset the canvas back to its normal set. And then you have like your colors here, you have your pattern, your paper textures here, which you're just going to click that one. And then single document view, which you don't really have to worry about that. All right, so that's the tools right there. So say I'm doing something, or I open up Painter and it's already been worked on previously, and the tools panel is gone. And let's say we'll just click on all this stuff and get this stuff to all go away. It does seem kind of like it's a little nerve-wracking because you're like, oh no, where did all my tools, all my stuff go? And there's an easy way to do this to get everything back. I know that this is one of the primary questions that I've been getting, and so hopefully this will help you be able to get anything that you lose back. So if you look up here in the top, the navigation bar at the very top, not the program's navigation bar, but the actual navigation bar. If you come all the way over to this option called Window, which is right between Effects and Help, you can click on it, and you can find any part of the program's tools that you need to bring back. So my navigator, let's just bring the toolbar back. So I mean, there's a lot of options here, but your toolbar is actually this toolbox. It's the name of it. And so if you click on that, it'll actually bring your tool panel back. And so we're still missing the navigation bar and the layers and the color over here. So we're going to go back up here to Window between Effects and Help and click on Window. And we're going to come all the way down here to Color Panels, and we can click on Color. And there we go. So it just brought it all back. Now say, you know, it's brought back the color panel. We'll get rid of channels, we'll get rid of navigator as well. So it's only brought back the color panel, but the others are no longer there, or didn't come back as well. So you just go back to Windows. Whenever you're wanting to find anything in the program, you have to go to Windows right here to find it. And so we're going to go down, and Go right here, so you have Navigator, and that should pull that part back up, connect it right to the top of Color. And then let's go back to Window, because we're still missing our layers. And so we can go all the way down here, and you can see that Layers is actually right here. And I want to point out something, and this isn't for every option in the program, only for specific ones, but if you look out here to the right, there's actual shortcut key command called shortcut keys that you can use to just bring that back in the program without having to actually come up here to Windows and go down and select Layers. So this little funky shape stands for the key command and then the number 4. So let's just look down on our keyboard, press and hold. So commands on both sides of the space bar. It doesn't matter which one you press. You press and hold command, and you press the number 4. You can see how I can actually bring that whole thing back there. So that's a basic layouts of how to navigate this program. Obviously, there might be questions that you will all have that will come up in the future, and you can obviously talk to myself or Mr. Leidy on how to get tools back and how to answer those questions in the future. But as for now, this is a pretty good tutorial that should help you all if you're still having some confusion with the navigation of the program. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and call this good and look out for more tutorials in the future. Have a good day.